You can watch Table of Content live on Twitch every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at www.twitch.tv/elevatethenetwork.
Welcome to Table of Content, the Elevate Community Roundtable show where we discuss all the happenings around streaming, gaming, and entertainment. We are joined this week once again by the official Rogue, Eminent Stump, and joining us for the first time ever, the man with the goods, Mr. Brose Wood. How are you all doing this evening? Rogue is MIA. There he is. How are you guys doing?
Not bad, not bad, not bad.
Not bad, man.
Good to see you guys again. Brose, welcome for the first time ever.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
good to see you, my friend. You want to quickly tell us about yourself since you're here for the first time?
Sure. I'm a streamer who likes to play games sometimes on stream. I stream often and play a variety of games now because one game wasn't working.
What are you currently playing?
It's been a mix, really. I've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six and Apex lately.
Cool.
So I mostly focus on FPS games, but I've been enjoying Rainbow Six a lot lately, and I'm very excited for the new season coming out.
Cool. Very cool. So moving away from Crunker.
Yeah.
Rogue, you want to tell us what you've been up to?
Not a lot, Zaz. Not a lot. I've just been chilling out, getting a move on, getting my teeth done, which is been big on my mind. But hopefully soon, big things.
Big things. Excellent. And Mr. Stump, good to see you again, sir. So I want to jump right into streaming news, guys, into Twitch streaming news, and I don't think we could talk about Twitch streaming news without talking about Dr. Disrespect. So he was pretty upset this week with his Twitch subs. He's one of the most popular channels on Twitch. He has probably one of the highest subscriber counts on the platform. But he's called out his subscribers and criticized them for a lack of energy in his stream. He has estimated around 20,000. One of the many benefits for his users is the ability to chat in his stream, which is normally a subscriber only chat. And he said that the energy's been so low in the past weeks that he's actually considering opening it back up to everyone in his chats. And he said he is worried about spammers, but he also was kind of roasting the spammers, mocking them for copying, pasting messages over and over, that kind of thing. And he even said, "I can't imagine the brain that sits in that head," which I thought was kind of funny. So really, small streamers, big streamers, we all seem to suffer when our chat maybe isn't as lively as we wish they were at any given time. So, Brose, how do you deal with those streams kind of when maybe the chat is slow and the hype is a little low?
Luckily, Stream Elements is great, and they have a lot of fun bots that I've been using lately.
Cool.
So, like, you can have like raffles and stuff like that. So that keeps it active for the most part. But there's times where it's just like low energy, no one's talking. Maybe it's a lull in a game or something.
Sure.
And I kind of just power through it because I know the woods are strong. So they'll come out and they'll talk again once maybe something amazing happens. We win the game, we get a GG in the chat. I just wait for those moments, and then it livens it back up. And I just vibe with what the chat's going through.
So you kind of just tailor yourself to what's going on at any given time.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel really about sub only chats? Is that something that you've played with, maybe follower only or anything, Rogue? Have you ever done anything like that?
I don't think I'm anywhere near big enough to even filter out people at the moment. I'll take what I can get. But I certainly do get it when it comes to filtering out spammers and just trolls that don't really want to give you the time of day and jumping your follows. Some will do it, I mean, followers only chat, I don't really get. Subs only chat, I understand 100% because, no trolls, or troll may do, is pay you money to troll in your chat. They'd much rather go to a free guy. So I
Sure.
understand in that way. And there's multiple platforms that you can get contacted on anyway. So, I mean, yeah, when you have
So,
enough people.
so how do you feel then about a big streamer like Doc kind of roasting his chat uh for not chatting or kind of bringing the hype when he's trying to get geared up for a tournament? I know as a small streamer, I would probably never do that because please stay, please. But how do you feel about a bigger streamer doing something like that, specifically from like a viewer standpoint, Stump?
I mean, it's kind of his MO, isn't it? I mean, his whole thing is he's the guy with the attitude. So I feel like if you're in his stream in particular, you got to realize that gun can be turned on you at any minute.
Yeah.
You could get the hose. But I mean, personally, I'm well. I could, that wouldn't bother me at all. But yeah, I don't think it's for a small market streamer. I
Sure.
don't think that would go over too well. I mean, hey, he's made a living out of it, so maybe if you got the right personality doing it. But we're not all professional comedians, so.
Yeah, I don't think that there's really anybody quite like him. But there are other interesting personalities on the internet. One of them being, let me see if I can say this right, so you guys don't roast me. Is it Pewdiepie? Is that how you say it? Okay,
Yep.
I said it right. Pewdiepie has revealed his future YouTube plans after returning from a couple months on break. Uh, the proclaimed king of YouTube, Felix Pewdiepie. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. He is back, returning from his hiatus. The Swede made his triumphant return on February 21st by catching up on the memes that he missed while he was gone. The Swedish star uploaded a 15-minute video where he reacted to the world's best memes that came during his vacation. He also reacted to his subreddit that apparently descended into chaos while he was on break. And he had a quote saying, I always wondered what you guys would do, what was going to happen to the subreddit. Now we know. Absolute garbage. Thank you, he joked. And I don't really know what happened. I can only imagine with it being Reddit. He also ended the video by stating that he will be uploading again on the daily, and he thanked his fans for sticking around. Thank you all for all the nice and lovely supportive comments while I was gone. It really cheered me up, he said. It's been a really healthy and good for me to take a break. I appreciate everyone's patience. And I think it for me personally, it seems really good that somebody as big as him who grinds as hard as he does in sort of the business that we're all in is able to say, hey, sometimes you got to take a break. So other people probably were pretty upset about him leaving for those months. It really didn't affect me. But Rogue, how has him being gone ruined your life? And
Um,
can you tell us when you will be making your big return?
no. Yeah, of course I can. So Felix not being there, it's been I've had to scour YouTube to find my fix. I'm so glad he's back. So I did watch his content on the daily, and his last name is pronounced Kjellberg.
Kelber. All right.
Kjellberg, sweet. It's Swedish. It's a weird language. But yeah, he's back now. I think he's uploaded for the past 3 days. He's back to uploading daily, which I absolutely love. I mean, this guy literally uploads every day for the past God knows how long. He's a literal monster. So him taking a month off really, especially with his fan base, he's such an understanding and a nice fan base that they've supported him through that, and it's absolutely amazing. Glad he's back. He ripped into Jake Paul in his newest video, which I absolutely loved. Because I think it was something you described. I thought you were going to touch upon it, but I don't think it's only just come out. Where his plans for the future, and he's just got it's not even a Word doc. It's like it's like a word pad or notes, and it just says "Diss Jake Paul" every column of it. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's back. As for me streaming, you'll be surprised to hear I'm coming back.
I am
Yay.
shocked. I'm shocked.
Stream me
Disbelief.
what? I'm coming back this Thursday. Hoping to upload or stream rather, pretty much every day I can. And you're gonna take that however you'll take that, because even I don't know when that'll be. But I'll try and get back to a schedule as soon as I can. I'm thinking about uploading some Rust content. I now have a Rust server, which is available at my Discord. If you want to link that, you can do. But I'm trying to also get YouTube started as well. I want to sort of bring out like a let's play kind of thing where pretty much it's edited, so it's much better quality content, and also people can watch it pretty much anytime. Because I know some people don't really watch VODs, but on YouTube it's kind of the thing.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to uploading it a bit on there too, maybe perhaps if I'm not lazy.
Cool. Sounds good. So Brose, did you have any thoughts on PewDiePie's triumphant return?
I love PewDiePie. When I first like started consuming YouTube content when I was like, I don't know, 14, 13, he wasn't even like a thing yet. He came out when I was like I was a huge fan of Nova, Paragon Nova, or Uber Haxer Nova. He's a Twitch streamer and a YouTuber. And there was like beef there because they both played Happy Wheels at the same time, and there was like, I don't know, I hated him for so long because of that, because like I was Team Nova. And just then I started watching his content and I understood like he's hilarious. He's a very funny person. So I was very excited to see him come back.
I have to say I've caught a few videos of his. I can't say that I know much about him. I haven't. It's probably horrible of me considering how big he is, but I wish I could say that I watched more. And I think with seeing the following that he has, maybe I should, because maybe I could get a few pointers from him. Stump, what are your thoughts on the whole ordeal?
I don't know, man. Anyone who has to take a month off is pretty soft. I think. I mean, at least when you got someone
Official
like
Rogue, can you please respond?
I cannot, for it is against the rules I was strictly told before this stream even took place. No swearing or cussing of any sort. So just for that, I'll use a one-word response, and it is poppycock.
All right.
and for the American audience,
Um,
tomfoolery.
shove it up your bum.
Okay.
Shove it up your bum. I'll go with that.
So anybody who takes a month off is soft. You wanna elaborate on that?
I mean, you look at some of the other streamers out there that they show a little bit more spine, like Dr. Disrespect, as we were talking about before. You know, things aren't kind of going the way he'd like to see him in his stream, and he goes after his viewers. You know, that's a little more rock solid.
So you like the direct approach then?
Yeah, let's just go right at the problem.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, so moving on, and speaking of kind of going at a problem in the direct manner, streamer Pokey Main explains that she doesn't mind being called a Twitch thought. It doesn't bother her. Pokey Main is one of Twitch's most popular streamers, boasting a huge audience of over 3.9 million followers on the site. But being an internet star doesn't come without difficulties. Although she sports a hugely supportive fan base, she has a horde of haters as well, many of whom label her a thought, an insulting term meant to degrade women that are streamers by accusing them of using their sexuality to get views. She she said her quote is pretty funny, I think. Thought is like the lowest on the list of anything that will hurt me, she joked. I've heard that a million times. I've heard that expletive a million times. So she's not letting it bother her. And I really kind of like her approach here. I think that just brushing the trolls aside and kind of ignoring them is probably the best way to deal with them. Anybody who's dealt with bullies or trolls or anything, um, it's kind of the best way to go. But I also had kind of another aside. Okay, I've thought about this a lot. And I see people complain a lot about Twitch thoughts and girl streamers and stuff. And I just want to say to you out there who complain about that and thinking that your viewers are being stolen, I want to say to you, no one is watching you because your content sucks. Okay. So stop blaming everyone else when you don't succeed. Your content sucks. All right. Just watch your VODs, get better, and get good. That's all I have to say. So, Stump, is that the key to dealing with online hate? Just brushing it off, or should we do a better job of policing it?
I don't think we really need to. I mean, to an extent. I mean, like you said, I mean, if she's not stealing the content that that this tiny guy over here is making, and you know what, it, it's not bothering her because she's learned how to deal with it, and that's just the way a lot of these people are going to be. And you know what? Sometimes if you want to be in front of that many people, you're just going to have to get some thicker skin.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
I think that's true. If you're gonna put yourself out, it takes a certain amount of guts to put yourself out there at
it
all
does. It definitely
like
does.
this.
But you're going to turn those lights on in front of you. You got to thicken up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's probably easier for her to brush it off, sitting on top of her pile of money.
Yeah.
Uh,
Clearly,
you know,
she has brushed it all off and just into that pile of money because she's probably making a hand over fist. So
yeah, yeah.
keep making fun of her, and she'll just weep into her piles of money.
So when it comes to trolls, though, how do you deal with them, Rose? Do you just sort of do you mess with them? Do you just block them? How do you deal with it?
Oh, I love when a good troll comes into my chat because I
Yeah,
love roasting trolls,
yeah.
100%.
You and I are a
And
lot alike that way.
so, like, they say something, they get roasted. People I'm playing with, or friends in chat, or anyone who likes me roast them. They say something else, go too far maybe, then they get timed out for 10 minutes. That's it. If they want to come back, they can come back and roast. Easy. They come back, they get banned, they get timed out again for maybe 15 minutes, and if they come back again and they say something stupid, then the ban hammer hits.
Okay.
Then it's whatever.
So you give
You're
them
gone.
multiple chances
Oh
before you
yeah.
ban them. Okay.
Multiple
Okay.
chances to make a fool of themselves.
So hey, Catalyst Heartbeat, it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. So what sort of things, guys, do you like? What's a bannable offense for you? I mean, are you talking like are you talking like racial slurs, or just like if somebody's roasting you and just messing with you, do you kick them out? Do you ban them, or do you allow that to go on and kind of roll with it? Because I know I personally made my biggest troll my mod. It just seemed to work out for me. My second biggest troll is also my mod. You guys can figure out who's the bigger troll. But Rogue, how do you deal with that? With trolls? Do you just banhammer them, or do you mess with them as well? Like, what's your mo there?
Uh, it really depends. If they come in seeking to sort of get anything out of it, or just like playing around, camp joking, then yeah, I'll play around with them and make jokes about how how weird it is to go on the internet to just try and mess around people. But if it's something more serious, then normally either I'm always constantly monitoring chat. So I'll be the one to either time out ban them, or hopefully one of my mods will be there. But yeah, if they don't mean any harm, then I'm all about making fun, and I'll end up like joking with them, and then
Sure.
going into serious talk, and like getting to know them and all that stuff. So like kind of
So you
they
try to
come
win
in,
them over.
yeah. So they kind of come in to stir up a fuss, but I'm like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. So where are you from, dude? And then I've got them into, I've got them. Follow me,
Turn that
But
frown
yeah,
upside down, troll it.
exactly.
So Mr. Tofu, I saw you had a question in chat. You said you make everybody mod. Should you stop? What do you guys think about that? Is having too many mods in one stream maybe a little intimidating for new chatters that come in? They come in and they see everybody has a green sword. Because I've often wondered kind of the same thing. Like, is there a certain amount of mods you should keep?
I feel, well, coming into new streams with a lot of mods, it is kind of a little bit, scary, because for a newcomer, they've already established, like, you can just tell from the little sword mark, you can tell that they already know each other and already friends. And it's like you kind of trying to intrude into a community of already established friends.
Mhm.
And I guess, like,
Her. Brose, how do you feel about the mod thing though? Do you think that how many are too many?
I don't have a lot of mods at all. Like I have close friends, and I have like people who are in the stream very often. Like,
Mhm.
and that's only one. No, that's like 3 people who I haven't known for more than 5 years that are not mods.
Gotcha.
I mean, that are mods. So like, there has to be a very close relationship there in order for me to
Gotcha.
make you a mod on my channel.
So
So I don't.
do you use VIPs then to kind
Oh
of
yeah,
point out other
I have
people?
a lot of
Okay.
VIPs. Yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool. All right. So moving on, guys. And I know we talked about this a little bit before. Twitch streamer Neom, I guess is how you pronounce his name, was kicked out of a furry convention for live streaming. And so this is just another case in the long line of streamers live streaming from places that they don't have permission to be live streaming from, or while they're speeding down the highway going 120 miles an hour. Nim's furry convention adventure came to a quick, abrupt end when he and his companion were told to stop live streaming and then were asked to leave the building. He seems to believe that the behavior of his chat may have been responsible for the sudden boot from the venue. And he spoke candidly to his viewers outside about how he viewed their behavior. Um, some of the people in the Twitch chat were not being very friendly, so I can understand if you're into this stuff. If you see someone streaming, you check out their stream, and the only thing you see is in chat is negativity. You think, yeah, I'd probably want them out of the convention as well. So to me, this kind of goes to what Stump was saying about Pokey Main and Dr. Disrespect. It seemed to me like here in this instance, blaming his chat kind of seems a little ridiculous to me. Like, maybe not blaming them for being negative, like that's fine, but blaming them for being the reason that he got kicked out of the convention when he was there streaming without permission at a private event. Um, Seems like he didn't really want to take the responsibility there. So, Brose, what do you think about IRL streams? Is there a proper way to go about them?
I personally, I don't watch people who stream IRL. Like, I don't enjoy it. It feels awkward almost.
Mhm.
I'll sit there and watch a just chatting stream for hours,
Sure.
but the moment they're like out and about and like you don't know what's gonna, I don't know, maybe it's anxiety or something. Because like the moment I see someone out and about doing stuff, like I'm like anything could happen. So I don't want to be a
Yeah.
part of it if it's something's gonna happen, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy it. And I think especially with this guy, like it wasn't properly done at all. He needed permissions, he needed permits, whatever.
Mhm.
It had to be done correctly for it to work.
Yeah, and I kind of feel the same way with the IRL streams. Like, there's just something about it that doesn't, I don't know, doesn't jive with me. Now, recording a video somewhere live and having permission, like that seems like kind of the better way to go about things. So, Rogue, what are your thoughts on IRL streams? I don't think that's something that we've talked about before.
I mean, just chatting as Bruce said. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. Talking to the chat, that's brilliant. Show and chat what you're doing. I mean, that's kind of involved something like a YouTube video where it's edited, where you can skip over the boring parts, and you can get
Mhm.
all to the fun bits of what they've done throughout the day. And you have to have an interesting life. You have not an if it's going to Tesco's or if you're American, Walmart, um, and like picking up your groceries. I'm not going to be interested. Even if you're talking to chat, you're focusing on your life. At least keep something to yourself, you
Yeah.
know. But it's like, say if you go into Comic Con, something like that. For me, I would go with a camera, but I would make it my primary objective to have fun at Comic Con and film some good bits, so I can make a video about it and people can watch all the good bits, about the day, rather than just stream the whole thing. I'm not enjoying it. No one else enjoying it because they haven't watched all the in between bits, and like anything can happen on them. It's like I think IRL streams is the riskiest way to get your channel just taken down
Yeah.
automatically. Like it's in the confines of your own home, you can do that kind of stuff
It's a
because
controlled environment.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's not public or like where someone can just walk in and just shout racial slurs into your window. I don't know. Stuff happens.
So,
Yeah.
it, and there's a difference too. I mean, there are public places that it would be perfectly fine to use video or whatever without
Mm,
permission, but this was a private event, and they didn't
yeah.
even bother to like try. And then they sort of, from the article, they sort of seemed surprised that they were asked to leave, and annoyed. But it was like, you went in. I mean, it's pretty. It's not really a secret what happens when people uh, in the wrong part of the place where he was live streaming from. Um, Audio popped when that alert went off. Thanks for letting us know, Symphonic. So, Stump, what are your thoughts? You're not a streamer, but you are a maker of video. How do you feel about live streams from public places or even private events like this?
I said bring them on. You know what? I'll just flood the internet with as many as you can, because you know what? We're gonna watch your train wreck of a life, all right? And frankly, I'm gonna find humor in the train wrecking.
So you're saying they can't stop us all? Is that what you're
They,
saying?
they can't, and you know what? I'm gonna get to watch some ridiculously good clips out of it. I'm not gonna watch your stream, mind you, because you probably suck. But you know that one bit there, that 5 minutes of your life is gonna be really good, and I'm gonna
So
get to
so you're
watch that.
looking for that fail clip later
That's
then?
true. I
Okay.
want, a clip of Zaz and Rogue and Brose, like just all in there together, just doing whatever, and they mess up and the milk is all over the floor.
Okay, fair enough. So, I want to move on to some gaming news, guys. And we've talked a lot in the past month about cloud gaming. And this week, EA had some issues with their some of their servers. And we know from everything that we've been talking about that cloud gaming is the future. I mean, it's coming. But people are, oh, hey doggo. He's into cloud gaming. People are a little bit worried because of EA's recent server issue. Um, they currently, or this past week, were suffering from some server problems. Many of their online based games remained unplayable for several days, and some only a few hours after they first they first started marking the problems as resolved. So they were telling people that the problem was resolved, and it still wasn't. They were still having issues, even though they said they were fixed. So I don't know if that's just an error, or they were just trying to make up that they were doing fine. But luckily, with most games that we have now that have single player modes, you don't really need online capability. But going forward into the future with cloud gaming, uh, video games are going to be online, stored on servers online. Um, so if you're using that cloud gaming service, it's going to be an issue when these servers start to go down. And I could see this at the beginning kind of being a big issue until they sort of sort that sort of stuff out. Um, so this is for Rogue, with cloud gaming sort of being the future of gaming. Do you worry about these sorts of issues, or do you think that they'll get a hold of it? And from a streaming standpoint, uh, what are the implications? Like if you're playing a game and their service goes down, how is that going to affect things for live streamers?
I mean, the first thing you got to consider is EA is a brand of video games. They are trash.
Yeah.
Literal trash at making video games. They know how to make video games. They don't know how to do servers. Every EA game that's come out, like Anthem, that sort of had a bit of hype around it, has gone down on launch because they don't expect that many people. I'm like, you've hyped it up. You don't expect that. Anyway, EA are trash. Cloud gaming servers in general are pretty much like regular servers because they still require, having a bit of hardware to make it happen. And with 5G around the corner, it's going to make it, first of all, a lot more stable, a lot more better. The only thing is with 5G, if with cloud servers, is if it goes down, it's just quite easy to go down rather than having an actual hardware because software can go wrong more than hardware. Whereas like going down in the middle of the stream, I mean, I've had servers going down the middle of streams for me before. I've had games mess up before in the middle of streams, and I've like lost 3 hours of hard work and grinding, which sort of made me very angry. It happens anyway. I mean, I generally think that with the introduction of 5G, with wireless Wi-Fi and all this stuff being actually better than, well, getting to the point where it is better than a connection, an Ethernet connection. There's not much that can go wrong with it. I mean, with hardware servers, so servers that actually exist and they have a room somewhere, they have backups and all that stuff. And then when something breaks, they can send it to a backup. With the cloud, you can't really do that because if the cloud goes down, you don't really have a backup unless you have solid ones in the back, which, but I generally think it's going to get better. EA as a whole are just not good when it comes to servers. They've had a history of bad servers. I play FIFA a lot, and I've never really had FIFA mess up on me. But recently, it's come back saying I search for players. Loads of people, especially in England and Europe, play FIFA. I've had it come back so many times saying there are no players available.
Yeah, I found that a little
No
hard to
players
believe.
on the whole game, and I have to wait until tomorrow to play it. It's I mean, it's EA. I've not had that problem pretty much with anyone else. Any big companies such as EA on EA's level, like Infinity Ward, or I don't know, something else like Face Punch. I've not had problems. Like I think Rocket League had a problem a while back, but realistically, I just think it's EA just really bad at it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that when we talk about we're talking about a game developer here versus say like Microsoft hosting their own cloud service for their games. They have a little bit more money and backing and frankly know-how, I would imagine, to put behind their cloud service. But from that aspect, Brose, as a streamer, do you have any sort of worry about cloud gaming affecting your live streaming going forward?
I don't think it would affect. I mean, I guess if it affects how how like well the game is running, it could
Mhm.
affect the live stream. But other than that, I don't see it affecting us too much. As long as the games run, if the games run, then we're good. But if it doesn't, then not be using it.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I can see that hurting. Uh, I can see it hurting like large streamers' revenue. If they're a single game streamer and whatever service X that they're using goes down, being a pretty big problem for somebody who's say a single game type of streamer. So I wonder how that's going to affect them and kind of what people will come up with to sort of mitigate that in the future. Stump, do you have any thoughts as far as EA and kind of what they're doing with their servers versus what say like Microsoft or PlayStation might do with theirs?
Well, I mean, bottom line here is that I think that the market's going to sort itself out no matter what. I mean, if you're one of those streamers that plays one game and that game goes to crap and you can't stream, well, you're gonna have to figure something else out, or you're gonna become irrelevant. If you are the maker of that game, you're gonna have to figure something else out, or you're gonna become irrelevant. And when it comes down to the money, that's just what they end up. They follow the money. They know what they're doing, and
Sure.
I mean, as long as they're doing the opposite of what Rogue says, they're probably gonna be fine.
Well said. So, speaking of money and knowing what you're doing, Tiger Electronics, you guys may or may not remember these, are bringing back their retro LCD handheld games. So Hasbro is bringing them back. They are kind of the monochrome, like little LCD handheld games. Um, Today, the company announced that it will be releasing 4 new versions of the iconic games, which will launch this fall for only $15. Which I can't imagine they were much more than that when they were coming out back in like the early to mid '90s. As with the originals, each device will play a single game. Launch titles include The Little Mermaid, Transformers, Generation 2, X-Men Project X, and Sonic the Hedgehog. All are available to pre-order right now at GameStop. This isn't the first such 90s LCD revival. Back in 2017, Bandai Namco brought back the classic Tamagotchi, which similarly banked largely on nostalgia. Like that effort, Hasbro's new gaming devices feature nothing in the way of modern conveniences. Instead, they harken back to a much simpler time for the medium. Rose, did you ever have any of these as a kid? And are you planning on picking up any of these for old time's sake?
I don't specifically remember having them. It's
No?
kind of I was kind of too young for them, I think. I think I remember like a Sonic one that I had. Not I had, but I think my aunt had it. She was a big video game into them a lot. She was a video game. No, she was big into video games.
An absolute
Um,
bot.
yeah. But the collector in me is like, ooh, I need
Yeah.
that. I collect a lot of things. You can tell behind me. I think I might, grab some. A couple of them at least.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, and I can remember having a few as a kid, and them keeping me occupied for those long car drives. Stump, did you have any of them when you were younger?
No, it didn't. I had the Game Boy.
You had a Game Boy? All
Many
right.
Same.
cartridges, and this has never really caught on for me. It's like let's make a single use game, an electronic. I never really understood the appeal. I mean, some people it's cheap. I guess was it 10-15 bucks? I guess that's part of it. You can play this game endlessly for only $15.
Hmm.
But I was always a bigger fan of the variety of being able to play whatever I wanted on my Game Boy, even if I was going to sit and play Pokemon for 8-10 hours straight.
Right. I think these were sort of the off-brand answer to the Game Boy,
Sure.
like your grandmother that wanted to get you a Game Boy for Christmas, but she didn't know what a Game Boy was. She got this for you. Rogue,
Now,
did you ever have any of these?
See, I think I'm younger than Brose, and I had
Probably.
a Tamagotchi.
You
I had
a
a Tamagotchi. Yeah, I had
Like
Tamagotchi.
growing
well,
up,
who
like,
didn't have a Tamagotchi?
I had like 4.
I had the Tamagotchi, I had the knockoff Tamagotchi, I had Nintendogs, which was the step up from a Tamagotchi.
Allegedly.
And allegedly. But yeah, like loads of games like based themselves around it. Because I remember a lot of games in 2011, I think it was, coming out on the iPad. It was like
Yeah.
there was a game called, excuse my language, but My Poo. Where you look after a poo. But it's just like Tamagotchi, and I get the whole thing. Like it's leveling up your thing. It's pretty much like the Flappy Bird's granddad. Okay, but you feed it and you water it and you play with it and all
Yeah.
this stuff, and it grows. And I think there's something about obviously kids liking pets and seeing them grow and sort of taking on that responsibility. And parents would get it because it's responsibility and all that stuff. Which, but I generally enjoyed it.
I can remember those because I was a little bit older. I kind of was
Were?
a little too old. Yeah, still old. I was a little too old for Tamagotchis. So like I remember the old Tiger handheld games more, but I do remember at school kids being very upset when they were eventually not allowed to have their Tamagotchis. And so I can remember people's parents actually taking care of their Tamagotchi during the day so that they wouldn't die. I remember that being a thing. So apparently I'm the only one old enough to play these games. Yeah, whatever. I know somebody out there remembers them in chat. But
Did you play the Little Mermaid one, or?
I think I had, if I remember correctly, I had an X-Men one and I had a baseball one, which I was sad to see that the baseball one was not on the list. I think it was like RBI baseball or
I
something
think I
like
remember
that.
seeing that actually.
It
in your
might
minivan.
still be floating around my house somewhere at my parents'. But yeah, so I'm looking for them. I'm actually probably going to go pick one up, and I could see them being entertaining enough for Charlotte. So I may grab one just for old time's sake.
I can play some Sonic. Do it.
Yeah, Sonic. Why not? She loves Sonic, so maybe that'll be the one I pick up. So we've had some more companies back out of some major conventions this week. We've seen Sony back out of a couple now, and they just backed out of PAX East. So one day after Sony's PAX East cancellation, the company's PlayStation arm announced its plan to skip another major gaming expo, the Game Developers Conference, by citing the impact of the coronavirus, if you can believe that, on its worldwide operations. Its exit from the March Expo has the company Oculus, the virtual reality arm of Facebook, will also now no longer be attending the Game Developers Conference. GDC's organizers posted a statement on Thursday assuring attendees that they're still moving forward with the expo as planned, based on guidance from state and city health advisors. They quote said, "We believe that based on the strict U.S. quarantine around the coronavirus and a large number of enhanced on-site measures, we are able to execute a safe and successful event for our community." So we're seeing this a lot now. This is the second or third story where we're seeing gaming being affected by this coronavirus. So even in the last week, there's been, from what I understand, a rise in the cases of the coronavirus, not only here in the U.S. but overseas. Stump, are you worried at all about what is seemingly a growing epidemic being able to be contained to maybe just cancellations in the gaming industry?
Not at all. Not at
No.
all. Well, I mean, if you look at the statistics of it, from what I've seen, the coronavirus isn't that much worse than the flu. As far as, there's a mortality rate. The flu has a mortality rate.
Sure.
So I think a lot of these gaming companies that are pulling out of shows, they're just getting caught up in the Corona hype. All right.
So you think it's more just it's happening? Do you think they're using it as an excuse?
I don't know, but I'm glad they are, because they pull out and someone else gets more time on the big stage that they weren't going to get otherwise. Maybe we see a shift in gaming news because of it. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
that's
something like
possible.
that could happen.
That's possible. Brose. Oh,
I broke the internet.
all right. So, guys, sorry about that. For those of you that stuck around, thank you very much. Yay, thank you, Tatsu, for sticking around. We were talking about the coronavirus, and while we were gone, Brose, you told us that you contracted the Modella virus.
Yeah,
Is that correct? Can you tell us
it's
about
true.
that?
Well, basically, you just become the most. I can't think of a joke, dude. Now
Yeah,
it's not fresh, dude. I can't think of it.
That moment is gone. Damn it,
It's gone.
All right. So, Rogue, did you have any input on the coronavirus affecting video gaming at all?
Not really. I mean, I don't really think it's worth me entertaining it because it's really not as big as everyone's making it out to be. It affects
More of a non-issue.
yeah, it affects less than 1% of the population. It's really not a big deal.
I think that I saw more like in-person sort of like worry hype about it when I was passing through airports, but outside of airports, I haven't really seen anybody seemingly too worried about it. So I want to move on to entertainment news because I'm excited about this next topic. So Disney Plus is starting their new cooking show called Be Our Chef. And so I think we have a little video package here we're going to watch, and then we're gonna talk about it. So, Mr. Producer, if you don't mind, start that video.
I'm Angela Kinsey, and this is Be Our Chef, the cooking competition that challenges 5 food-loving families to create delicious dishes, all inspired by our favorite Disney characters. Every bite will be judged by one of Disney's legendary chefs.
You got a really great balance of texture.
I just love seeing families in a kitchen cooking together.
Sorry.
No, I think
It's all
was
fun and
French
games
chef.
until we lose. Then it's on.
Let's get a move on.
Gonna be close, yeah.
We gotta get these in. Oh my gosh!
Oh, it's over.
This could go very wrong very fast.
Oh, open fire.
I need to keep calm. This is just so nerve-wracking.
The competition is fierce. The winner is...
It's just like Chopped. Tatsu is stressed out already.
Somebody call Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. So a new cooking competition from Disney Plus will pit 2 families against each other in the kitchen. They'll be tasked with making original dishes inspired by their beloved Disney characters. And while the first trailer for Be Our Chef looks at least like the least relaxing vacation ever, it should be a lot of fun to watch. Plus, it offers a big time reward for its competitors. I thought this was really neat. One family who wins the entire competition will see their original dish on a Disney menu in the park. I think that is really neat. Angela Kinsey from The Office, she played Angela in The Office, hosts the upcoming new cooking show for Disney Plus. The culinary competition premieres on the streaming site this spring on Friday, March 27th. Each episode will see the 2 families facing off as they concoct totally original treats and dishes inspired by that signature character. Brose, are you much of a cook yourself? And are you going to be checking? Do you have Disney Plus? Will you be checking the show out?
So I got Disney Plus free from Verizon.
Nice.
So thanks Verizon. So yeah, I'll definitely probably watch. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I'll probably check it out because I love cooking. Cooking is it's not like a passion, but it's like something I enjoy doing. So I watch a lot of Food Network. other food shows, so I'll probably check it out. I don't see why I wouldn't.
I'm a big fan of Chopped, and
Oh yeah.
that trailer kind of made me feel anxiety like when I watched Chopped. So, Stump, I know that you're a fan of those types of things. I know that you and your wife enjoy cooking shows. Are you going to be giving this a whirl?
I guarantee you that Mrs. Stump is going to watch this. Guarantee it. But I will point out that they're not actually going to give the winners a trip to Disney World because even Disney can't afford to send someone there. A four-person family. It's just too expensive, guys.
No pass.
We not got that kind of budget on the show first
You have
season.
to pay to see it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious and probably right. Let's be honest.
Have you seen those prices lately?
Yes, I have. Luckily, I know people that live in Florida. Maybe help me get that in-state price when Charlotte's ready for Disney World. Although I don't really feel like waiting in line for several hours to meet Nikki. That's just me. Rogue, are you into this? Is this something that you'll be checking out?
I'm a big fan of cooking shows, but only one in particular, and that is any cooking show that involves Gordon Ramsay, because I like the way he talks to people.
Yeah.
If the cooking show does not have Gordon Ramsay in it, it doesn't really tingle my taste buds.
But he won't be mean to children. I don't get it.
I don't watch the children ones either because he, criticizes children. I wish he did because that would make for a really good TV show.
Just punt the kid off the show, you know?
That's horrible. You guys are terrible people.
Therapy afterwards, it's fine.
Speaking of traumatizing children, Are You Afraid of the Dark is back for a second season on its reboot. We also have a video for this, so let's go ahead and check that out.
Do you like scary stories?
Let's see if the new girl's got the right stuff.
Rachel, we're all afraid of something. What are you afraid of?
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I call this story The Carnival of Doom.
A carnival is coming to town this weekend.
This is the same carnival from my story.
That smile will haunt my dreams forever.
You had a dream about a creepy carnival, and now the carnival is real. We don't have much time. Do you have a plan?
I remember watching it as
Let's
a
do
kid
this.
to Mr. Sosa.
Seriously, you're gonna throw up.
I'm fine.
You sure about that?
I don't know.
We're with you.
Is that Matt Smith?
It looks like it.
Yeah, it does kind of look like him, actually. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. If there's one show I would say that collectively traumatized a generation of millennials, it was this show, Nickelodeon's Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Canadian-produced series originally aired from 1990 to 1996, with a short reboot in 1999 for an additional season. It followed a group of friends who called themselves the Midnight Society to get around a fire each week to tell a horror story. That story then played out for the audience anthology style. Each episode had a new and frightening thing to terrorize its young audience, from vampires to ghosts to aliens and ghouls. Now, last year, to kind of ride that nostalgia train, Nickelodeon rebooted Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it was originally supposed to just be a miniseries, but it was so popular that it's coming back for a second season, which I think is pretty cool. So, Stump, did you watch Are You Afraid of the Dark as a kid?
A few times. I will say I watched it a few times, but it never really grabbed me. I mean, I remember watching it, turn the lights off. It just never scared the Stump. What can I say?
I think you were probably still pretty young when it was on too.
Yeah, I was pretty young. But I do remember catching some episodes. But yeah, when it first aired, I would have been very, very young.
Yeah, I remember when I was watching it, my brother wasn't allowed, and you and he are the same age. Now, my favorite show, I think, that came on right before Are You Afraid of the Dark was Salute Your Shorts. If you guys remember that, Camp Anawana.
Remember that?
What's that?
Do they remember it?
Does who remember it? Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember Salute Your Shorts? Do you remember that show? Yeah. What about you, Chad? Do you remember Camp Ottawana? We hold you in our heart, and when we think about you, it makes me want to fart. Uh, Brose, were you a fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark, and have you caught any of the reboot?
I didn't watch it as a kid. I watched. I was more of a Goosebumps kind of kid.
Love Goosebumps too.
And I remember watching Goosebumps, and like one time, Reese from Malcolm in the Middle was on it. I'm like, oh my god, he's from a different show. That's crazy. And yeah, I wasn't really big into Are You Afraid of the Dark. I haven't watched it yet either. I probably won't, to be honest. I don't do a lot of watching TV. I mostly just do this stuff.
Thank you for the correction. Elevate the network. It's I hope we never part. Now get it right, or pay the price. Now, so Rogue, do you remember this show? Is this something that you watched? I know that's probably a bit before your time, but maybe you caught the reboot.
No,
in '99.
I've never. I can safely say I've never heard of it. Maybe something that is not well advertised here in the UK. We did, however, have a similar show like that, but it was very cartoony, and it was like I when I was a kid, I was girly be the word. Squeamish would be the word. Where like because they had it was about this theatre thing, and it was like spiders crawling through the eyes, and like I mean popcorns and being like creepy crawlies in the popcorn and all this stuff. I just couldn't watch that. I was more of a Disney XD kind of guy, where I watched Wizards of Waverly Place and all that good content.
Gotcha. I can remember really looking forward to Halloween on Nickelodeon because they always had like Are You Afraid of the Dark marathons, and they did other scary shows and specials. It was something I always really enjoyed as a kid. So another piece of news, and I think this is really interesting and exciting. There is going to be a Borderlands movie, and it is going to be directed by Eli Roth. If you don't know who he is, he directed Hostel and Death Wish, and he is officially set to direct the upcoming film adaptation of the popular Borderlands video game franchise. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be live action or somewhere in between live action and CGI animated type movie, but if I had to guess, I would guess that it's going to be live action. But for those of you out there that are unfamiliar with Borderlands, it's perhaps best to think of it as kind of a warped, sarcastic version of the Mad Max franchise. It tells its story of a post-apocalyptic world dominated by roaming gangs, legions, and other power-hungry coalitions. The series is infamous for its elaborate weapons and over-the-top violence and a wicked sense of humor. So without much detail, past what I just read, Rogue, what are you hoping to see from a Borderlands movie?
Well, if there was anything Borderlands gonna come out of Borderlands, I would have hoped it would have been something like a Netflix series. That's what I hoped, because I think it would make a really good Netflix series. I mean, normally every Borderlands game, it's 4 characters, it's got a really nice storyline to it. And I think it would just suit something like that. Whereas style-wise, I haven't looked into it so much as to know whether it's live action or not. For those of you who play the Borderlands games, you know the art style. It's sort of like this cartoonish thing where everything is outlined in black, and it's got a really original and really nice feel to it, and that is part of what made the original Borderlands such an amazing game to play. And I hope if they do it, because I feel like it'll end up being like the Dragon Ball Z IRL movie, which was terrible.
Oh, I remember that. That was
exactly
a steaming pile.
I just hope that they do it justice, because Borderlands, I mean, I grew up on the game playing it when I was a kid. The second one came out in pre-sequel, then I streamed the third one, on my channel, which I finished actually not that long ago. And I don't know if any of you were there for it, but as some people may know, I may have cried at the end of it.
He did.
Happened,
I was there. I saw it.
teary-eyed. It just had such a good ending, and it just really tugged on the heartstrings, especially for someone who's been playing it a lot. But yeah, I really hope they do justice with the art style. I don't know how they're gonna do the storyline. I hope they don't try and crush 3 games into one movie. I hope they just do it on the first movie, the first game, and I hope they skip out all the boring parts like the side missions.
Somebody's always pointing out how old I am, Mr. Tofu. Thank you. So, Brose, have you played Borderlands? I know you say you like first-person shooters. Is this a series that you're a fan of? And what do you think about the choice for Eli Roth as the
I'm so glad you asked that question because I think he's perfect for it.
Yeah.
If you've watched his movies before, they're gruesome, they're bloody, they're amazing, and he's the perfect fit for the Borderlands series in general.
Yeah, I think with the right writing,
exactly,
it's going to be awesome. Yeah.
And with what Rogue said about it being a Netflix series, that would be so much better because of the side missions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you could do like offshoot episodes of stuff, and I think that'd be really, really good. I have played Borderlands. I played the second and the third one. I played the third one all on stream. Had a very good time playing it. I think with Eli Roth's style and the art style and the just gruesome and sarcastic, as you said, it's perfect. They're a perfect combo, and I'm very excited.
Do you think, Brose, that they should have the line, "I am the conductor of the poop train"?
Yes. Absolutely. And that needs to be played by Eli Roth because choo-choo.
Some could say that that's actually my official title for this show. Eminent Stump, I know you're a big movie buff. What do you think about the choice of Eli Roth for this movie here?
I mean, I think it's an interesting choice. It gives it a chance, but in my opinion, you've got a pretty saturated market with all this post-apocalyptic stuff. I mean, it's been going on for such a long time that, you know what, just cram all of it into one movie and be done with it.
I saw you roll your eyes a little bit while they were talking about making it into a Netflix series. So you're not willing to sit through 8 episodes of another post-apocalyptic.
I mean, there are tons and tons of movies and shows out there, and I don't see how this one's going to be any different, other than it'll be the gory version. Oh wait, isn't that the new Mad Max?
I mean, that's kind of that's kind of the point. I think that the difference is though that this will have a little more comedy than say a Mad Max. And speaking of comedy, now speaking of animation and comedy, I'm very excited about this. Masters of the Universe Revelation, which is an upcoming animated series for Netflix, has revealed their cast. Kevin Smith is doing this reboot, and it's kind of a continuation. It's coming closer to reality. They've announced the cast. The series was announced back in August, and we'll pick up the story from the original Filmation He-Man and the Masters of the Universe animated series, but it'll be years later. Basically taking the Creed, The Force Awakens, Jurassic World approach with its belated sequel, look at the world of Eternia. Netflix has now revealed the voice cast, and I'm just going to name a few here. I didn't list out the whole cast, but I hit some high points here. Mark Hamill as Skeletor, if you guys have ever heard of him, which I think is amazing. Lena Headey as Evelyn. You might know her from Game of Thrones. We've got Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila, Liam Cunningham as Man-at-Arms, Stephen Root as Kringer, Diedrich Bader, one of the Batmans, as King Randor and Trapjaw. And then we have the king of hardcore, or American hardcore himself, or punk rock, depending on how you look at it. Henry Rollins is voicing Triclops. And there was one other one, by the way, Kevin Conroy. I don't know if you know who he is, but he pretty much is Batman. He is the voice of Batman from the originally animated series, which we spent way too much time on last week. He will be voicing Merman. So with a star-studded voice cast like this, and we're going to have great writing by Silent Bob. I think we all know that. Probably some really good dialogue. I'm sure this is going to be kind of a must-see. So, guys, do any of you have any thoughts on this at all?
Yeah, this is an amazing voice cast. I mean, the highlights alone are all-star. And before Rogue can poo-poo on this one, I think that this is going to be one of the shows to catch. I mean, Silent Bob, Kevin Smith alone writing for something could make it a winner to me. Any number of these voices being involved could make it an all-star cast, let alone Kevin Conroy. Like, the list goes on. Like, those are all heavy hitters, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. And whatever Rogue says.
Yeah, I mean, it literally has Batman, and the Joker. Like, you can't really beat that. So, are you Brose or Rogue? Are you guys looking forward to this at all? Are you He-Man fans?
I'll let Brose go first.
Okay, cool. Because I got a lot to say. I am pumped for this. I loved He-Man as a kid.
Awesome.
As a toy guy, I love the Masters of the Universe toys. I had the giant castle. I am so excited for all of this. Mark Hamill as Skeletor is just a dream come true, and I'm just elated. It's gonna be amazing.
As soon as I saw his name, I was like, "Well, of course."
Well, that's a win.
Why would you pick anyone else?
Exactly. Anybody else that would have been on that list?
I don't know. So Rogue, you wanted him to go first.
Oh yes.
You have sort of a sour look. What do you have to say?
Getting ready to
I've
fight.
never ever watched anything to do with He-Man. I've heard of him.
Okay.
And I've heard he does a special thing to get all muscly. I primarily watched that on like a parody show, so I didn't actually watch it directly. But since Stump likes it, I think Mark Hamill is a bad call because he's Luke Skywalker and he'll always be Luke Skywalker. If I didn't watch it, I'll just leave Luke Skywalker. The same with the Batmans, I'll just be like, well, that's Batman. The same with the Joker as well. Be like, that's Luke Skywalker and the Joker. Well, I'll be more like Luke Skywalker because I don't really watch a lot of DC. But yeah, it's going to be the same stuff that we've seen He-Man do, and it's trash. It's just trash.
You should check it out though, because apparently you haven't seen it yet, so it'll all be new to you.
I've read the reviews.
So you're saying that hearing a voice that you're familiar with will take you out of it. Yeah. You can't get past that typecasting when it comes to characters
it's
like
an iconic guy like Mark Hamill. Like, I think after his Joker series that he did, because there was a while where he played Joker in games and I had no idea. But then I feel like that's been smashed for me, so I'm gonna be like, now that I know it's Mark Hamill, I'm gonna be like, it's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
He's
so if you wouldn't have known, it wouldn't have bothered you.
Maybe not.
So
I would be willing to bet you some hot money, man, that you will not be able to say that is Luke Skywalker, because hearing him as the Joker is so amazing, and he is such a talented voice actor. Yeah. I would be willing to put money down on that.
Yeah, I don't hear Luke Skywalker. I don't hear Luke Skywalker when I hear the Joker at all. Like, not even a little. Now I can see how you might hear the Joker in what he might come up with for Skeletor. I can maybe hear how that might be a thing. But guys, that's all I have for today. Is there anything that you would like to plug that you're working on? Brose, you want to start us out?
Sure. I stream every Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. on twitch.tv/BroseWood.
Is that 6 p.m. Eastern?
6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, yes.
Cool.
I also have a line of merch that you can get if you want to. We got the Woods mugs. Nice. We got t-shirts, mouse pads, we got stickers, we got a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah, that's what I do, and that's where I do it. So, anyone
Excellent.
else?
So if we get a shout out for Brose in the chat there, guys, make sure you go give him a follow, check him out. Rogue, I know you said earlier you're going to make your triumphant return to streaming and content creation. When can we catch you for that first stream?
You can find me on my channel, which is www.twitch.tv/the_official_rogue. It's the official rogue space in between Twitch and Lamb have spaces, so they're underscores. It's okay. We miss your streams. Thank you, Tatsu. I'm glad you missed them because that makes me come back even more happier. I'll be streaming 8 p.m. UK time if you're American on the eastern side, on the east side, gang. And then that is 3 p.m. And then you
All work
can
stops for me and Stump at 3
exactly.
p.m.
If Batman's streaming, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard I've had people say my streams are better than certain adult entertainment, so hopefully that's true.
Is that adult entertainment? You mean like taxes and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Grocery
That's what
shopping.
adults do entertainment wise, yeah.
All right. So Eminent Stump, anything you want to add?
Thanks for coming out, guys. Watching the conductor at work.
Thanks for coming out. All right, guys. Join us at our normal time next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are looking forward to seeing you here. Make sure you give us a follow on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you would like to be a guest on the show, or you have a topic you would like to hear discussed, hit us up on Twitter or shoot me an email, zazzaboo@elevatestreams.com or socials@elevatestreams.com. You're beautiful. Goodbye. Mwah! And good night. Bang.